What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back in today. We've got a $250 bank wrap dime hunt where we'll mainly be looking for silver. And I'm going to jump into these rolls and take you guys along for the ride, have a little chat, and hopefully find a little silver along the way. So let's jump into it. Okay, so let's get into roll number one, and I am going to open every single roll on camera. I may fast forward depending on how these rolls are looking, but I'm hoping we find a little bit of silver. It has been really slow here in the metro Atlanta area in general for silver in all denominations. I've actually done better this year finding silver out of the Coinstar. There's been a couple of times I found some silver dimes that I haven't really put on the channel. I think I found, what did I find? I found a bunch of euros the other day. I did come away one day with about $6 worth of quarters and Sacagaweas. But I've probably found 4 or 5 silver dimes in the last month or two, and maybe a silver quarter. I can't really remember. But it has just been really slow going. I've had some folks email me on the channel as well, and that are in the Atlanta or just outside of Atlanta, and they're experiencing the same thing. So it's been making it a little hard for me to get motivated to look at coins, and with my busy schedule, it's just been hard for me to even find the time to sit down. So we've just been lacking content lately. But hopefully the silver will pick up, and I'm hoping we can find a little bit here in this box. If you're new to the channel or new to coin roll hunting, all I'm doing here is looking at the edges for a solid silver edge. And if we happen to come across one of those, then we'll know we've got silver. And those are also 1964 and earlier. And I suppose there's probably some silver proofs and more modern dates, but again, those would jump out at us with that solid silver edge. And that was roll number 4. We got a whole lot of nothing in it. So what can I talk about here while I got you? Did just get done. My daughter had back-to-back national volleyball championships, one in Orlando and one in Indiana. And so we were down in Orlando for 4 days. We drove down. It was a wonderful little drive with my daughter. And we were down there for, I think they played like 12 games or 16 games or something like that. And they came away with the second place trophy, so that was exciting. And then we drove home on a Tuesday evening, went to sleep, woke up, did some laundry, and got on an airplane and went straight to Indiana for the USA Volleyball National Championship. So we were out there for a couple 4 days, and they came in 5th out there, which means they are the 5th best nationally ranked team in the United States that had to earn their way into that national championship. So not so bad. The AAU championship down there in Orlando, that is a pay-to-play tournament, so not as much clout for placing in that one, but still fun to go to and try to place. While I was down in Florida, I did take a box of $50 with me, and I did film an opening of the box. And I basically said, hey, as I find stuff, I'll bring you guys back in. And I ended up getting to roll 50 without even finding an NIFC. So we just tossed that footage away, and so we were short a video from that time period. Plus, I found it's actually really hard to hunt coins when you don't have good lighting and a good setup to sit and look at coins. Like, I didn't have my microscope. I didn't have good lights. I didn't have anywhere to hold my phone. Just made it really hard to do, or hard to film, really. And luckily, I only had to film an intro. Talking about silver, if you guys have been following the price of silver, we've been crashing pretty hard. And now I'm kind of looking back, wishing I had sold a little bit more of my silver than I did. I did sell a little bit left and right when it was up high. But now I'm looking at starting to buy a little bit more. The last of the Zombuk series came out last week, And I did buy up, I think it was the last coin in the series, the next to last coin in the series. It was the Necro Wolf. And I bought a couple of those and the copper rounds, and those should be coming in here really shortly. I'll do a video on that once they come in. And if it's the last coin, you'll be able to see the entire collection. If it's not, then I guess we have to wait for one more. But that was kind of exciting. And I want to say I paid like, I think when I bought them, silver was at like 58 or 59 or $60 an ounce, which is pretty far down. And they were doing them for a couple like $2.99 or $3.99 over spot. So I got each of the coins for about 60 bucks. 60, you know, it was more than 60, like 63 or 65 or something like that. Get some of these out of the way. Considering the last coin in the series, I think I paid like $85 a coin, which was really high, and it hurt my feelings to spend that much on silver. But it was on its way up, I think, and it ended up topping out at like 128 or something. So I was glad I bought them when I did, but now I'm a little sad that silver's on its way back down, and I'm sure I'll be able to find those things aftermarket, like on eBay and stuff, much cheaper in the future. I think we're getting into roll like 13 here. I may have to stop it a little bit just to clean this mat off, because I'm going to eventually run out of space. What's that? The crap gets down in the rolling machine. I don't think that's silver. It was just ugly. 1965. We were close. So what's been going on in you guys' world? I know I haven't been posting as many videos, but I know I've got a lot of you that check every video out that's been that I post. So what's going on out there for you guys? Let me know. Are you still hunting coins? Are you able to find silver? Because I know for me, it's been really, really hard. And some of it, it's, you know, I'm going against what I used to preach, not on purpose, really more just due to time. But I do think this is a volume game, and that the more you hunt, the more you will find, right? You've got to get through those really rough patches to get to the coins that are going to be really good. And, you know, back when I used to do like 8 boxes of $50 every 2 weeks, you know, it would really stink when you'd go on a run of, you know, 15, 20, 25 boxes without silver. But that only took a couple of weeks to get through that many boxes. And at my current rate, you know, getting through 25 boxes takes me about half a year, just because a lot of my source banks have dried up. They're not getting coins as regularly, and it's just taking me longer to get through them. So some of it's my fault, some of it's the banking system's fault. But part of this is a volume game. I did get into a little bit of a chat back and forth with one of my viewers about branches, not boxes. And it was getting kind of hard to carry on that conversation. But the point that they were trying to make is that sometimes it's not about volume of boxes. It's more about volume of locations that you stop at and pick up coins or ask for coins. And they were positing that, you know, if they go to 20 banks, I think he said 50 or 60% of them will have $50 on hand. And I would love to know where they are in the country, because I can tell you that on any given Friday, I can probably go to 25 banks, because I live in Metro Atlanta, and there's a bank about on every street corner. A lot of times on every street corner, there might be 2 or 3 banks. And I can tell you most certainly that my hit rate on loose halves or halves that are just sitting at the bank is not 50%. It's probably closer to 10%. For me to get halves, I pretty much have to order them. And I'm sure that's probably the case for most of you as well. But that's one I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Like, when you're hunting now, are you mainly hunting just boxes that you're ordering? Are you driving around and trying to find halves at branches? And if so, like, how often are you actually finding them? Because I find them very rarely. I did run into a bank the other day where they did have a box of halves that somebody had ordered. And they ordered like 2 or 3 boxes and only picked up 2 of them and didn't come back for the third. And I picked up the last box, and that was the box I took to Florida, actually. And it was mostly brand new coins. It was, I would say probably 50% of the box was brand new coins, 21s to 24s. Everything else was circulated, and it wasn't that much fun. And it took me all of about a half an hour to go through it because I didn't have my scope. So I couldn't look for DDRs and DDOs and that kind of thing. So just silver hunting. You can rip through a box pretty quick. So we're almost at the halfway point. I'll get a roll count for you here in just a second. But I'm not seeing any silver. Not even seeing anything too exciting outside of maybe some shiny edges that could be new 2025s. So these 2 rolls are going to make half a box. I'm going to pause and get these cleaned up, and I'll bring you back in and we'll... Hear my dog barking. Somebody just rang the doorbell. So sorry for that, if you could hear it. Hear my dog losing her mind up there. Okay, roll number 25. Actually, that's not true. Is it true? No, I'm not halfway there. Sorry, I miscounted. I got a couple more rolls before I get to roll 25. So there's 5 there. I need to get these 2. 5 there, 5 there. Sorry, we had 3 more rolls to go because I can't count. So this would be 23, 24, and 25. So what else can I tell you guys about? From a coin perspective, I haven't been buying a whole lot. Like I said, with silver as high as it was, I was kind of just holding. I sold a little bit of silver. I did sell a couple of my superhero coins on my website just this last week, gacoinsandcollectibles.com. So I sold a big Superman coin, and I think it was a Green Lantern coin. I got pretty good price for that. So those sold, but outside of that, I haven't actively been trying to sell too much. And I have not actively been buying, but if silver keeps dropping, I will be back on the grind to build the stack for sure, because I'll feel a lot better about spending 40 or 50 an ounce than I felt spending 80 or 90 an ounce. But I hope it doesn't drop too far. That would be terrible if we went all the way back to the 20 or 30 days, because I don't know if I want to go that far back and lose that much value in the stack. All right, that was 25 rolls. Let me get this mat cleaned up. I'll be right back in for the last 25. Well, the first half of that box was not great, so I'm going to bring you back in here for the last half of the box, and hopefully we do a little better and find a little silver along the way this time. I went ahead and took the rest of the 25 rolls there out of the box and laid them out so you guys could see how many we had left. And again, no silver there. No proofs or anything of the ilk. We got a dryer dime in this one. Those of you that don't know what a dryer dime is, it looks like that. It's basically something that was caught like in the drum of a dryer and spun and spun and spun, and basically the entire all the reading has been ripped off and the coin has been widened. But I do not see any silver in that guy as well. You know, when you get these open and you see like these really white kind of edges, you get excited until you realize that it's actually just some gunk there on the sides of the coin, or that you just kind of have a larger clad part of the edge than you do the copper part of the edge. So get your hopes up and then you get let down. You might ask why I've kind of do my dime rolls the way that I do with the screwdriver now. It's just that I found so often in the past when I tried to kind of rip them like I might a $50 roll, I ended up just shooting dimes all over the place, and this just helps me keep the dimes together for edge hunting. So a lot of people that you'll see will rip the paper this way, and then the problem is you end up with the little round bits of the paper there, and then you can't get the dimes out, or the paper rips like that, and you end up just making a mess. So I kind of much prefer to tear that ring off. Then these rolls just open so much easier. And I'm gonna end up making a mess of this trying to show you guys the other way, so I won't do that anymore. Little tip for you guys, if you've never opened up a roll of dimes, but no silver anywhere to be found. I do have a lot of shiny edges. I checked a lot of those are 24s and 25s. That's actually a 2018. And nothing there. A super shiny edge. 2023 it looks like. I really would love to get into one of these rolls one of these days and have more silver dimes than I have clad dimes. Remember years ago, one of my subscribers, and apologies, I can't remember his name. It's been a few years. He told me like one of the first few dime boxes he ever hunted, like 80 or 90% of it was mercury dimes. He had almost a whole box of mercury dimes. So somebody dumped an entire collection. Ended up going back to the 2015D in really nice shape. Ended up going back to the like Brinks or Loomis or whoever, and they just threw them in the machine and rewrapped them. That would be wonderful to come across that much silver. And for me, this is what most of my coin roll hunts look like these days. Just lots of clad. If you are new to coin roll hunting, I actually don't recommend starting with dimes, just simply because there's not that much to look for. They are small. If you're just going to hunt silver, maybe it's okay to do it because you can get through it pretty quickly. But outside of proofs and there's a, I got a document in the description down below. There's 7 or 8 other little coins you can look for. They're not worth a whole lot of money. And for me, unless you're doing an album or something, it's just not really worth your time to look for anything other than silver. At the same time, I have found in like Loomis wrapped or even Brinks wrapped dimes, coming across silver can be hard. And you may end up going through several boxes before you find even one silver dime. And it is the smallest denomination, so you're going to have the least amount of silver. And just in those than just about any other 90% piece of coinage. I know the war nickel may be a little bit less, but they're only 35%, so that makes sense. We got some ugly nickels in this hunt. It's a 2010. All black. So 2, 4, I'll slide them over here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We got 12 rolls left. And that'll be a $250 box of nickels down, or box of dimes with no fines. So I did pick up 2 more boxes of halves at the bank this weekend, 4th of July weekend. I actually think I got them, picked them Friday before the weekend. And I'm looking forward to getting into those. I didn't see any enders. It's a 1965 with the edge completely rubbed off. I didn't see any enders, but we did seem to have, it looked like it was a decently mixed box, at least just looking at the enders. It didn't look like every single coin was going to be brand new, so those could be fun. I'll be getting into those after I get through these dimes. You know, because I have to re-roll these, it takes me almost longer to re-roll these than it does to open them and look through them for silver. And I really miss having coin machines, and it's been several years since I've had one available to me. I do get that question in the description, or I do get that question in the comments quite frequently, like why I rewrap them. And it's simply because I don't have anywhere with a coin machine that doesn't have a limit. There's a couple of credit unions around me. They have like a $200 limit, and then they charge you a percentage. And I'm not going to sit there and do like $200 at a time. And I hear from some people in the comments that where you live, you can't even turn in coin customer wrapped. You know, you can't wrap them yourselves and take them back, which I also find being a little bit odd. But I spend an awful lot of time rewrapping coins, which makes this hobby just a little bit harder, especially when you get through a whole box of something and don't have much to show for it. I got excited for a second. We had a very gray looking edge right there, but it's not silver. It's just hazy. So 5 rolls left. Some of these shiny ones I'm pulling out, I'm really just checking to make sure they're not proofs. Because occasionally you will find a proof dime in a roll, and it's few and far between. A lot of times I'll catch them when I'm rewrapping, but I don't find proof dimes too often. So 3 rolls left. To 1966. Almost made it down to being a silver year. We'll get lucky and get a little last row luck, or last roll luck. That would be nice. All right, here we go. Roll number 50. 20... Was that a 2020? Yeah, 2020. Looked like it might have been a 2026. I was going to say I haven't seen any of those yet. Still seeing a lot of 24s and 25s. 2008. All right, well, that's going to do it for this $250 dime box hunt. Apologies we didn't find anything, but, you know, that's how it breaks sometimes, so I'm sure we'll get into some more dimes in the future. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys watching. I really do. If you're new to the channel and you like coin roll hunts, make sure you click on that subscribe button and click on that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I release a new video. If you want to leave me a comment, it'd really help the video get some viewership, although when we don't find much, it's kind of hard to watch all the way to the end, so during editing, I'll try to find a way to speed this up a little bit, but I'm hoping when we get into the $half next, they look a little bit better. Special shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for supporting the channel each and every month. I really appreciate it. And with that, I hope you guys are having a great summer. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.